Hey, what's up? So I know this is a very different video for me, but for people who don't know, I'm just a huge movie guy. I crush movies as much as I can. I'm super pretentious about movies. I don't watch like a lot of Marvel movies nowadays. They're too glossy for me. But Project Hail Mary starring Ryan Gosling and Sandra Huller just came out. I know I'm late to reviewing this movie, but I just feel like I always have wanted to talk about movies, and now here's a perfect chance because I just saw this in theaters and holy shit, this movie was good. So Project Hail Mary follows Ryland Grace. He's a science teacher who wakes up alone on a spaceship light years from Earth, and as his memory returns, he uncovers a mission to stop a mysterious substance killing the sun and save Earth. Now, it's based on a book by Andy Weir, which I did not read. I'm a bit of a book guy, but I did not read this one. I thought about it. Didn't do it. But with a movie like Project Hail Mary, it's tricky going into it because there's so much hype going in, and I always hate going into movies having read or seen any of that stuff because obviously I just see it, I'm like, okay, this movie's going to be good, everyone says so. Can't form my own opinions, everyone else has got me covered there. But the thing about this movie is I think it's deserving of all of the praise that it got. Now I need to get this out of the way. I saw this at my local theater. Now my local theater, I love that it exists. It's a nice little humble family-owned business. It is just a miserable movie watching experience. You may as well be watching a movie in a classroom. There's also just like 15 seconds where the audio cut out. So that's how I had to experience this movie that was filmed on 70mm IMAX. But diving into the movie, first of all, Ryan Gosling, just the best Ryan in Hollywood, and I don't think it's very close. Ryan Reynolds, to me, compared to Ryan Gosling, is a joke. It's like not even close. And if you Google Ryan actor on Google, Ryan Reynolds is the first person who comes up, and I just don't get that. Ryan Gosling has done so many good movies. La La Land, I love that movie. The Nice Guys is amazing. I've seen that multiple times. Drive is so good. I've seen that many times. I even love The Fall Guy. I saw that movie multiple times in theaters. And this whole movie is based around him. He's essentially like the only character in the movie for like a good chunk of it. So the whole movie rests on his shoulders and he delivers in such a big way. He's so funny, so charismatic. His character is so capable. It's very similar to The Martian, where like trapped in space, need to figure out how to survive. Thankfully, he's a scientist and he knows kind of what to do. But I liked watching him kind of go through the motions and figure out what he needs to do next, because in the movie, he's on a mission that he really doesn't want to be in on, and the movie kind of like slowly reveals how he got involved in it. And that's another thing I actually liked about the movie. They use a lot of flashbacks, and for me, I usually don't love flashbacks. It's like I just want to be in one place a lot of the time. But in this movie, the way they do it, it's like new information is revealed in the present day, and then it flashes back and reveals new information that connects to the information that we just learned. And they always leave off making you wonder what happens next, so you're constantly engaged with it. And there's another character in this movie that I won't spoil, and he's introduced fairly late into the movie. It creates like this buddy space dynamic that I just completely ate up. This character is great. He adds so much humor to it. Him and Ryan Gosling play off each other so well, which is, if you've seen the movie, you know is kind of a weird thing to say. I find they always make space extra dreary and dramatic and really emphasize the loneliness, and that's a huge component of the movie is loneliness, but I think it really like dives into how loneliness like affects people and the power of friendship, which is a really corny thing to say, like, oh, you know what can save the earth is the power of friendship, even though Interstellar, it's like the power of love saves it. Like I said, Sandra Huller's also in this movie. She's not in it a ton, but when she is, she's definitely very good. I haven't seen her in a ton of stuff. She was in that movie Zone of Interest that was nominated for Best Picture a few years ago. I know that people like that movie. I get what it was going for. I thought that movie sucked ass. But the other star of this movie is Greg Fraser. This guy's the cinematographer for The Batman, the Dune movies, and now this as well, and probably a long list of others that I can't even think of off the top of my head. Now, from what I read, they didn't use any green screen in this movie, and that is preposterous. It felt like I was in space for 2.5 hours. Like, it just looks so real. Like, if you're watching this movie high, you're either going to have the best time of your life or you're going to have a heart attack. And when it comes to the music, Interstellar kind of wrote the book on space music. I know 2001: A Space Odyssey has like a very iconic song that you attribute, but I don't know if that movie represents space as much as it represents an epicness and a grand scale. But Interstellar kind of wrote the book. Every video you see online of anything space related, it's the Interstellar theme song. Daniel Pemberton definitely read that book and utilized it and kind of manipulated it in this movie in such an insanely good way. I mean, the music plays such a large role in the emotions that you feel in this movie, and you feel a lot of them, which you don't expect, because this movie kind of walks a tightrope of being both very funny and also incredibly serious. Like, the world is at stake. Like, the stakes just can't get higher than the world. It's not like Marvel-y where something really serious happens and then someone just comes in with like a really stupid joke. All the humor comes from the characters and the relationship with the characters and who they are. And Ryan Gosling, once again, like, he's so funny and relatable in this movie. He just nails it. Like, he's kind of nailed this role of being like a lovable goofball who's also very capable. Like, he did it in The Fall Guy. He did it in The Nice Guys, and he kind of does it here, but I think it's elevated here. There's a lot more riding on him in this movie. He's the driving force of everything. Now, the directors of this movie are Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. The movies I've seen that they've directed are The Lego Movie and 21 and 22 Jump Street. They also did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I missed that one, and that is fully on me. I like all their other movies, but there's nothing crazy about them. I mean, I've seen the Jump Street movies a bunch of times, but they're just kind of easy watches. And they just handled this movie so well. Like I said, the tightrope walk with the tones is really hard to do. And I think the way they do it, it just, like I said, it makes the characters more relatable, and it makes you care about them, and it makes those emotional moments hit harder. And there's a lot of emotion in this movie. There are parts in this movie where I was like, oh boy, this is getting tough. And, you know, I didn't expect that going in, with just being this big, fun space movie from the directors of the Lego Movie. It's also really impressive, and I guess a lot of the credit of this would go to the screenwriter, Drew Goddard, who also wrote The Martian. But the way they make the science in this movie, like the biochemistry and the quantum physics of it all, which I don't even know if I'm using the right words, they make it so much easier to follow. Like, I actually knew what was happening in the movie. I know what needed to get done. I knew what the issues were. I feel like if I was tasked with writing this movie and they handed me all of the information, I'd be like, okay, you need another guy for this, because I can't do that. I don't know what the hell this means. And that's so big for a movie like this, because I love Christopher Nolan. Like, I'm one of those guys. There are people who think he's just like an idiot, and I think those people are so stupid. I think he's the best filmmaker ever. Like, that's how I feel about him. And I could admit, like, when I watch an Interstellar or a Tenet, I'm kind of like, I love what I'm seeing, but I can't fully grasp it or understand how it's working. Not that it's vital to the movie per se, but I mean, it helps a lot when you can wrap your head around it. And in this movie, I just thought they did such a good job of that. It was actually really impressive. I didn't think the movie was perfect, though. It just felt like some parts maybe dragged on a little bit too long, where I understood why it was happening, but it was just kind of like, okay, I get it. He's doing this. It's not a major gripe, but it makes you feel the runtime a little bit longer, because this is a long movie. It's like 2.5 hours. And also the ending, I didn't have a problem with how it ended personally. The issue I had was that it felt like it was going to end about 2 or 3 times. Your emotions get so into it and you're like, okay, it's ending and I'm ready for it. And then it just kind of keeps going. It's not that I didn't like where it was going, but it's just kind of those fake outs. Again, it makes you feel the runtime a little bit more. And there's maybe some scenes where the comedy of it kind of overtakes the seriousness a little bit. I don't think it was to the point where it like sucked me out of the moment or anything like that, but there were definitely times where it was kind of like, this moment seems a bit too silly for what's happening. But those are really my only issues with the movie, and it didn't affect my experience at all. Overall, this is just one of those movies that makes you want to make movies. It made me turn on the camera to talk about it, because that's how invested I was in how much it impacted me. I wish I saw it in a different theater for sure. That would have been nice. Bigger screen would have been great. Audio not cutting out mid-movie is also a mega positive. I'm going to take this one to the ass-o-meter. I gotta tell you, this movie is not at all ass. This is a really good movie. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Project Hail Mary. I hope you guys liked me doing a movie review. I'd love to talk more about movies, so if you do, that would be huge, and let me know. And Ryan Gosling, that's who I'm gonna be for the next few days. Every time I watch one of his movies, I just kind of adopt that personality for a while. So I'm gonna be charismatic science teacher guy for a while. But that's it for this one. Let me know what you guys thought of the movie if you saw it. Peace out.